joylessness of elves. Okay, so there are a lot of places in the movie that have a darker tone than they do in the books. Like, I already touched on this in Bree. In the book, the Prancing Pony has some elements of discomfort, especially for Sam, but overall it was a warm and welcoming place filled with hobbits as well as men, all of whom were excited to meet Mr. Underhill and his friends. There were some creeps at the bar, and things got more and more sinister in Bree as the night went on, but it didn't start out as the alienating, scary, 100% unfamiliar land it is in the movie. But that I don't have a problem with. I think it makes sense for the movie. It's in keeping with Peter Jackson's horror experience. It's fine for the world to be scary here. Not every darkening of Middle-earth for the movie is the wrong choice, but there's one thing about Middle-earth that really could have used a little more light than Jackson gave it, and it's the race that's kind of the key focus of Middle-earth. Why do we never see the elves being joyful? Aside from the prologue, the first elves we see in the film are the elves Frodo and Sam see going to the Grey Havens in the extended edition.
They're going to the harbor beyond the White Towers. To the Grey Havens. They're leaving Middle-earth.
Had this been an accurate adaptation of this elf encounter, Gildor would have been singing songs with them and giving them food and drink, while also offering dire warnings, but it would have been in contrast to the elves' default state of joy. The elves being seriously concerned shows just how serious things are getting.
Where's Gildor?
Oh, he thinks he's in the extended edition.
Where?
Those elves that Frodo and Sam see in the woods.
So he thinks one of those extras is him, even though there's none of the conversation, or singing, or merrymaking.
It's about as accurate a depiction as they gave your husband.
Then there's Rivendell, which the setting looks appropriately warm and welcoming. It is the last homely house, but we don't really see any elves making merry there. We barely see any elves there, period. Outside of Elrond, Arwen, and the Council, and who can tell how many of those elves came from Mirkwood, there's like 2 or 3 deep background elves somewhere.
You see this out-of-focus guy walking in the background.
And Lothlorien is straight up sinister.
I know there were some comments from people once they saw the movie feeling that Galadriel was a lot heavier and darker than she was in the books, and that's true to some extent. We did play her that way.
Galadriel's a character that, I mean, it was so successfully portrayed that you are scared of her, or you never really lock onto her. You never understand her, or, you know, she feels very inhuman. And almost when they're leaving Lothlorien, it's almost a relief.
When I read this sequence in the book, it's an elf paradise that they're so grateful. It's like the jeopardy is completely taken away, and they're able to relax. He thought that in the movie, it would totally undermine the kind of the conflict of and the drama of the story.
Again, I understand that this is a dark part of the story, and I understand why the mood is low right now, but Galadriel is scary. Even before she's scary, she's unsettling as hell. Later on in the book, Frodo claims that this was the last time he had a laugh. Can't really picture a lot of laughing here. If you want us to be sad that the elves' time is over, it would help if the elves being around didn't feel like such a bummer.
I don't know why. It makes me sad.